All right, let us say hello to the undefeated Austin Vanderford, who returns to the Bellator cage this Friday night against Fabian Edwards, big one at 185 pounds at Bellator 259. This is his fourth fight, I believe, in Connecticut. He might have to claim residence there moving forward. Austin, how are you, man?
It's good, man. Yeah, you're correct. This is the fourth one for sure.
You know what I was just thinking about, Austin? Like, you're back in the bubble, you're back in Connecticut, and I think you've now gotten to experience all 4 seasons that New England has to offer, because you fought in Connecticut in the winter, the summer, the fall, and now the spring. So how does it feel to be back in the Northeast on a fight week?
When we were pulling up here, I was telling Paige how much I liked Connecticut, and I like the East Coast, and it's beautiful. So it's cool. It's nice, especially when we can get out of quarantine and go walk around. It's really nice out, and I like to do that. Just get out, breathe the fresh air, and just enjoy.
Yeah, you got there at the right time, because a couple of weeks ago when we were out there getting ready for the Bellator event, it was not as nice as it is right now. It was pretty cold and chilly and windy. It was more of a wintry vibe than a spring vibe. So I think the timing is good for you. But we got to see you compete in November, and it was quite the road to get to that fight, because you got COVID along the way. Then you were supposed to fight Chris Curtis on that November card. He gets COVID along the way. And then you get a tough fight on short notice against Vinicius de Jesus, who the New England fans know exactly how good he is. And you go out and you get the win. How much did you take away from that whole situation, all the movement pieces, the adversity, to getting your hand raised once again?
Yeah, going into that fight, it was a completely different game plan than what we were preparing for with Chris. But just being professional and just being ready. And I think my skill set's adaptable everywhere. And, I had a task at hand, and I knew what I had to go do. And we just made the move over to American Top Team in the past year. And, that was huge. And just preparing with everybody there, the coaches, all the training partners and whatnot. I still felt like, even though the opponent changed, I still didn't have any stones left unturned, and I felt confident going into it.
Between that fight and where we're at right now, we saw your wife, Paige VanZant, make her BKFC debut against Britain Hart, and she fought tough, man. She wasn't able to get the win, but the bare knuckle world is an island that not a lot of people have the gusto to travel to, and she has done it, and looks like she's going to be doing it again in a couple months. But as her husband, what was that like for you, watching her compete in that environment for the first time?
It was, man, it honestly, it felt a lot just like getting ready and competing in an MMA fight. Of course, there's a little more at stake, I guess, with the damage and just being a new venture and whatnot. But of course, I was extremely proud, and especially, man, her last round, I thought she really turned it on and kind of showed what she can go forward and do in the fights to come. So more than anything, her spirit wasn't broken, and we learned from it, and we knew, there's a learning curve. And I think one of the biggest advantages in bare knuckle is just the experience and going in there and doing it, because it's just so it's different than what we've become accustomed to, with having pads on our hands and whatnot, going to bare knuckle and not really knowing, our hands going to break, how many shots can I take before I'm completely sliced up and all that. So really confident, excited for her next fight. And I was extremely proud. Of course, we were both bummed out and felt like it was a fight she could win, but going into it, Britain had quite the experience over her. I think it was like her 4th or 5th fight. And, it just was a big eye opener. And even going just to the round lengths, being so short and knowing how much we can really put on the gas pedal, from the opening minutes to the rest of the fight. So yeah, kind of cool, but it kind of hard to watch for sure.
Yeah, I bet. I mean, listen, it's never fun to lose a fight, but win or lose, experience is always won and gained in every contest. And you sort of alluded to that yourself, but what did she take away from that first fight that's been really noticeable from your perspective? I'm sure she licked her wounds a little bit and was like, it sucks to lose, but was she just raring to get right back in there when she was kind of over it?
She was ready to get back in, and she she's a fighter, man. She's tough. Despite what, some people think, she's tough, man. And that's the biggest thing. And, she's ready to get back after it. And we're excited for the next fight for sure.
So some good momentum coming into this fight for ATT as well. Cause a couple of weeks ago, we saw Johnny Eblen have himself a night a couple of weeks ago, gets the big knockout win. Daniel Madrid is a stud, man. He's a guy that's very high on the list of like kind of making that next step in his career, and Johnny treated him accordingly. I know you've worked with him a little bit in preparation for this fight. How exciting was that for you to watch Johnny put on a performance like that?
It was awesome, especially because before Chris Curtis, that was my original opponent, was Daniel Madrid. So I had been preparing for him. I think he got hurt or whatever and fell out and all that. So yeah, it was pretty awesome. I love Johnny. He's a great teammate, great guy, and really happy to see him go out and have the success. And I'm just happy for the ATT team and all of us. Just, I want us all to just go out and steamroll everyone, and I think it's a really cool dynamic and a family, and everyone supports one another in our dreams and all that. So I was super happy for Johnny. He's, like I said, really good guy, and deserved it for sure. He gets in there and works hard.
Has he taught you about Bitcoin and cryptocurrency at all? Because I mean, you saw that little thing on his shirt, man.
Yeah, we talked a little bit. He's really into it for sure. So it's pretty cool. But no, I haven't gotten into that yet.
I haven't either. But it was just funny seeing like you could scan my shirt right now and get some Bitcoin in your life.
Oh, yeah. Genius.
Smart man. You've had some good tests along the way in your Bellator run, Austin, but this one feels like the big one, at least thus far in your career. Like Fabian Edwards, like yourself, one of the top prospects at 185. He's coming off a tough loss against Costello Von Steenis, but he's a gamer. He comes from a fighting family, and the winner of this one takes a big step forward in this division towards the top. Like, how did you react to seeing Fabian's name on the other side of that contract?
I was excited. I've kind of alluded to it before, but he was a guy that I had on my radar, and I knew at some point our paths would cross and whatnot. So to get that fight opportunity, I was really happy, really excited. And, I agree. It's a big fight for me, but I see all my fights as my toughest fight, my toughest test. So, I don't take anybody lightly, and I'm excited to go out there on Friday night for sure. And I think there'll be fireworks.
Yeah, because this seems like the quintessential break down the wall kind of fight for you and get to the other side. Like we've talked a bunch of times over the years, like you've always had this take it a fight at a time approach to your career, and it served you in your mentality very well. But do you look at this fight as not just a step forward in this division, but a big leap forward to get you in that conversation with the Geghards and the John Salters, et cetera? Like, are you at this point, like, are you thinking about that? Is it a little more clear to you?
Yeah, for sure. I mean, my goal is set on being a world champion, and, and I know who has that title. And I also know the guys who are vying for it as well that are ahead of me and whatnot. But yeah, I think each time I fight, each time I compete is just to go out there and prove how good I am and the skill sets that I have. And, this one really isn't any different than that. We've got our game plan, we got our strategy, and we're just going to go out and execute. And I feel confident, and I feel like, the sound, the pressure that I'm going to be able to put on him is going to serve me well for the fight. And, I think it'll open up more eyes because he's got a bigger name than anyone I've fought yet. But, I think along the way, I've surprised people each fight. And I think this one will be no different.
So you're not looking at this like in your mind, like if I win, I'm next in line to fight the winner of Gegard and Salter, because you assume that's the fight. It seems that's the direction later on the summer. But do you feel like if you go out there and put on a show and do what you expect to do, that you could get the winner of that fight? Like, are you even thinking about that right now?
Man, it's tough for me to. I'm so locked into Fabian and going out there and beating him. But of course, in the back of my mind, I know it's coming. I know it soon, and of course we talk about it and whatnot, but man, when I have an opponent, I like to joke around like, man, I'm ready to just go fight because I'm tired of thinking about this person. I'm tired of thinking about the same. And I'm to that point, I just want to go out and fight Fabian, and I'm sick of thinking about him. And, it's tough. I just have tunnel vision right now, but, I'm excited for after it because I know in the back of my mind what is to come and all that. And like I said, I want to go out and deserve it though. I want to earn all that. And, I think a good performance will bring me to that.
This is a very Tom Brady-esque approach to this fight game you have, Austin Vanderford. This is impressive. Yeah. Is Fabian a guy that you've watched a lot of? Is he a guy that you're really familiar with the style? I'm sure you've been more familiar since the fight's been signed, but is he a guy that you've been paying attention to?
Yeah, I've thought about, maybe right after I got signed with Bellator, seeing him, or especially once I moved up to 185, seeing his name and seeing him. I definitely have had my eyes on him. And, like I said, I knew we'd cross paths. I knew we were both talented guys and both guys who were on the rise and whatnot. So I've watched a lot. My coaches, of course, have watched a lot. I'm excited, man. This is the part that sucks, just sitting around, waiting and just to go and get it done, But to answer your question, yes, I have seen a lot of him and a lot of his fights.
How much better is life at 185?
1,000 times. Sometimes I'll say to Paige, like, maybe should I go back to 170? And she's like, I'll kill you if you, I'm walking around at like 210, like, I think I could. And we're like, nah, it's so much better. And it's just, it's more fun. It's more enjoyable. And, fight week here, it's not like I got to kill myself to make 185. And, I'll probably come in a little smaller Friday night, but that's the way it goes. And I'm happy to sacrifice giving up a little size against someone, just to enjoy life and enjoy my training and, not feel like I have to go in and train just to lose weight, but I can go in to train to get better in MMA and become better martial artists and all that. And I think it's just more healthy. It's a healthier thing, and hopefully more people do it in the future. And I'm definitely sitting at 185, not ever going back to 170.
So what are you at right now? Like, how much do you have to cut to get there right now?
Oh, I was like 202 a little bit ago, I think this morning. So did a workout though and got down to like 194 and a half. I can sweat like crazy. So, it's not really nothing crazy, just clean eating for the week or whatever. And just really work on getting any of that extra fat off and then doing a big water cut. And I'm pretty good at doing that.
There you go. So how do we get this thing done? How do you go about picking up the biggest win of your career and putting you in this prime spot in the middleweight division? How do you see this all playing out?
I think just going out and not forgetting what got me here, putting on the pressure, putting on, just being intense and going out there and doing things with conviction. And when I see the openings, making sure I capitalize on it.
Mike Brown's gonna be a busy guy on Friday, isn't he?
Yeah, man. We got the whole stable of coaches out here. Mike Brown, my head coach, Bahumpa, Anderson, King Mo will be here. There's a lot of really good coaches. So you got to feel confident going into it with the guys that we got with us. So, and we got a good stable of fighters coming out here representing Friday night as well.
Yeah, Danny Sabatello, I talked to him earlier. That guy is a firecracker, to say the least. He's ready to go and prove people wrong. And I feel like you and him are kind of similar in a way, because both of you fought in the Contender Series. Both of you had dominant wins and got passed over. And now both of you are locked, signed, sealed, and delivered with Bellator. So has he talked to you at all because of this like sort of similar path that you guys have been on? Because you're both at ATT now.
Yeah, definitely. Yeah, I love Dan. Danny's such a good guy. I was pumped when I saw his name come up. I was going through Twitter and I saw someone say like Danny Sabatello, and I was like, "Fuck yeah, man!" I'm so. Yeah, I told him I was really happy to see that. Danny's a really hard worker on the team, really talented kid as well. And I thought, another guy who kind of got screwed over on the Contender Series. And so we've talked. He's asked me in the past, it was like a month ago, he was talking to me. I was like, dude, if you have the opportunity, man, go to Bellator. Like, if they call you up on a short notice fight or whatever, man, take that, go and, because I know how talented and tough he is. And he's always in the gym. He's ready to go. Like you said, really intense guy. And yeah, I was pumped, man. I'm really happy. And so, yes, I've tried to sway him to sign with Bellator too. I was like, man, they like us wrestlers, buddy. Come over here.
Yeah, you solved the puzzle. I talked to Danny earlier, and he was telling me, yeah, some of my teammates are telling me, come on over. The grass is green over here. And I guess we have our answer of who had the big push and the big selling point to get him over. But Austin, I appreciate the time, man. I know you're in quarantine, so this is probably like takes your mind off of it for a few minutes. But I really appreciate it, man, especially just days before the fight. All the best to you on Friday night against Fabian Edwards. We'll be watching on Showtime, my man.
Awesome, Mike. Yeah, you're the man, buddy. Thank you so much. Great interviewer for sure, buddy.
Awesome. Thank you, man.